What is up, guys, and welcome back. And today I have a different type of video. Today I want to talk about stuff like buffs and stuff like that. Just how other games have nerfs and buffs and stuff like that to make other things viable. Unfortunately, Pokemon doesn't really do this. And I think we can all agree that there are some Pokemon out there that, that need a buff to make them more viable. But today we're going to focus on one Pokemon in particular. A Pokemon that I actually really like. Third generation is my favorite gen. It is the last generation of games that I played before X and Y came out, before Megas were introduced. So the question pretty much is, what if Mega Gardevoir got buffed? So, when you look at the Mega Pokemon, a lot of them are, a lot of them get insane stat boosts. And I feel like when it came to this, Mega Gardevoir didn't really get that much. It's got a very good special attack. It's got a solid special defense. Speed is okay, but other than that, I feel like Mega Gardevoir needs more of a defense buff and an HP buff. Now, we all know that a lot of fairy types tend to be pretty frail. Sylveon is the exact same way. It has a low HP, low physical defense. And I even found this online going back 5 years ago. Yep, there's no doubt about it. Gardevoir / Mega Gardevoir needs to be buffed. So now, I'm gonna pretty much read this part out to you guys because it's pretty much the same thing that I'm saying right now. Let's see where is it at? Where is it at? It's right here right now. Okay, here it is. By Go-Go. All the Mega Form needs is a bit more HP or defense. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like Mega Gardevoir needs more of an HP and a defense buff. And then there is this other one right here where I would have to say, just it can't, to me, at least in my opinion, it just doesn't make any sense. My defensive Mega Gardevoir has swept more teams than any other Pokemon on my team, even Aegislash. Others need a buff before she does. Now, this is where, like, I would have to say, like, this is cool and all that this person is running a physically defensive Mega Gardevoir, and they're claiming that it can sweep teams. But, like, I mean, like, when it comes to VGC, like, we all know there's people who run, like, some crazy stuff, some interesting sets, and, and they back it up. They show that the team was able to get them to, like, let's say, like, a 1700 rating, or an 1800 rating on Battlespar, or it was able to help them out in an actual live tournament and place well. That makes sense to me. They're able to back up their claims about that Pokemon or whatever the set was that they were running. So this person is saying that a physically defensive Mega Gardevoir has been able to sweep teams for him, and that other Pokemon deserve a buff before Gardevoir does. So, but this is where I'll just have to say, it's like, I wish that they would provide more stuff. Like, how did this work out for you? Like, what exactly was he using this physically defensive Gardevoir on? Was he on free battle? Because I think we can all agree that in free battle, you're going to run into a lot of people who are usually running Pokemon that don't have items, so they don't really know what they're doing. I've seen people on free battle running Dragon Dance, but using special attacking moves on a Pokemon that's more meant to be a physical attacker. And so this whole defensive Mega Gardevoir thing just doesn't make any sense to me, because Mega Gardevoir has a very, very low physical defense. I mean, it's lower than Charizard Y. And Charizard Y has, I think, like a 70 base defense. So to say that the defensive Mega Gardevoir is good, I don't know about that. And I definitely do not agree on the part where they say that other Pokemon deserve a buff before Gardevoir does. So now, let's look at Gardevoir's stats here. Remember, guys, this is for VGC 2019. I am not a single battle format guy. I do not like single battles. I don't have the patience for that. So I'm not sure, how people would use Gardevoir in a single battle. So We're just talking about VGC here. VGC is a double battle format. So here's Gardevoir's stats. Now, this is where I'm going to say, I kind of feel like even Gardevoir itself could use a little bit of a buff. But I'm going to focus on Gardevoir and then 2 other 3rd gen Megas that were used a lot more back in 2016. For those of you that don't know, back in 2016, VGC was the exact same as it is right now with the Ultra Series in 2019, where legendary Pokemon were allowed. But the difference is that back then, Metagross was a lot more popular. Salamence is still a popular Mega today during the Ultra Series, and it was also a very popular Mega back in 2016. It was always, you would always see Mega Salamence with the Big Six, which was a very standard team back then. But yeah, Gardevoir was used as well back in 2016. But I mean, it wasn't like crazy good. You know, it wasn't like crazy good, but it was used back in 2016. Here in 2019, Gardevoir is not used at all. So we can even look at the on the global link. We can see the top used Pokemon. Now you can see it takes until the 8th spot till we see the first Mega Pokemon, and that is Salamence. So you can see the #1 item on it. There it is. The #1 item is the Salamence at 99.7%. So Mega Salamence is the first one on the list. It is at number 8. And then at number 12, we got Gengar / Mega Gengar. And then we go down to number 18, which is Mega Kangaskhan. Mega Kangaskhan has gone down a bit. Back in 2016, it was another very popular Mega Pokemon. But obviously now with the nerf to Mega Kangaskhan with its secondary hit from its ability and the fact that it can get Power Up Punch, I think that that's probably the reason why Kangaskhan has gone down more, is that combination of Power Punch, because you know that was a very good move to use with Kangaskhan, getting up, using the Power Up Punch and getting up, and you can get a +2 attack with Kangaskhan. Then we go down to slot 23 where we have Mega Mewtwo. There is Mega Mewtwo X, but I'm pretty sure the #1 used is Mega Mewtwo Y. Yeah, there it is. X only has a 3.2% usage. Feels bad, man. But yeah, you can see Mewtwo Y at 23. And then right here, Mega Metagross sitting at 26 has definitely gone down compared to 2016, but still a very good Pokemon. And then we have my girl or boy, whatever you want to say, Mega Mawile at 28, and Mega Gardevoir isn't even in the top 30. So now, let's go back to Gardevoir. Gardevoir has 68 HP, 65 attack. Of course, Mega Gardevoir is more of a special attacker, so attack doesn't matter. Defense 65, 125 special attack, 115 special defense, and 80 base speed. Now let's look over at Metagross. So right away, the one thing I'm going to say between Metagross and Gardevoir is that Metagross' stats are already pretty good. Its weakest being its speed, but 70 base speed really isn't that bad. You can still run Icy Wind or Tailwind to support Metagross' low speed, or you can even run a mixed team with Trick Room and Tailwind. So Metagross has 80 HP, 135 attack, 130 defense, 95 special attack, and of course Metagross is a physical attacker, so special attack doesn't really matter in this case. 90 special defense. 90 special defense isn't too bad. And then obviously the 70 base speed. Now let's look at the third Pokemon, Salamence, currently the #1 used Mega in VGC 2019. 95 HP, 135 attack, 80 defense, 110 special attack. So Salamence, you have a choice with Salamence to either run a physical attacker, a special attacker, or even a mix, and I think that's actually the more popular set with Mega Salamence. It is a mix with Double Edge and Hyper Voice, so a physical attack and a special attack, and then 80 defense, and then 100 base speed. So Salamence does have, between Gardevoir and Salamence, they do have the weakest defenses. Actually, Gardevoir's special defense is better than Salamence, but Salamence does have a better physical defense than Gardevoir. But another thing is that Salamence does have Intimidate, so intimidating physical attackers helps out Salamence a little bit more. But yeah, so Salamance's defenses aren't the best, but I mean, at least they're not as low as Gardevoir with like 65. Metagross definitely has the better defenses right here with 130 defense and 90 special defense. And Gardevoir, like, I mean, other than the special attack and special defense, everything really isn't good for Gardevoir. It has 80 base speed, but when you add the fact that it has such a low HP and physical defense, and 80 base speed really isn't anything special. Salamence definitely has the better speed out of all three of them with 100 base speed. So now we're gonna look at the Megas, and then we'll see where the changes come in. Now, obviously, when you look at all three of them, their HP stays exactly the same, so it sucks even more for Gardevoir. So now we look at Mega Gardevoir. Its HP stays the same at 68. Its attack does go up from a 65 to an 85, but again, Mega Gardevoir attack does not matter. Its defense, unfortunately, stays the same as well. From a 65, still stays at a 65. Its special attack, though, goes from 125 to 165. So that is very good because Mega Gardevoir can hit so hard, especially with that Pixelate Hyper Voice. Its special defense also gets a buff from 115 to 135, and then its speed jumps from 80 to 100. So, you know, its special attack, its special defense, and speed, they're all good, but that HP and defense, though, that is where the problem lies, because Gardevoir is just going to get destroyed. You look at 2019, you look at VGC right now where it's at, you've got Mega Rayquaza with Dragon Descent that is absolutely going to destroy Gardevoir. So now let's look at Metagross and see where the stat changes come in for Mega Metagross. So you see right there, obviously HP stays the same. Metagross's attack gets a buff from 135 to 145. Its defense goes from 130 to 150. And then remember, guys, its ability is now Tough Claws, so Mega Metagross is going to do even more damage. Its special attack even gets a buff from 95 to 105, but again, you're never going to be using a special attacking Metagross. Its special defense jumps from 90 to 110. And then its speed, the speed has always been something that has just blown my mind. It went up from a 70 base speed up to 110. So you can already see right there, Metagross, attack, defense, special defense, its attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed all received buffs. Okay, HP obviously stays the same, while Gardevoir, on the other hand, the only thing that got buffed was the attack, but, I mean, attack doesn't matter. Its defense stayed the same, only its special attack, special defense, and speed got buffs. Now, the one thing I will say is that Gardevoir actually is faster than Metagross with 80 base speed compared to 70, so, you know, I would think that either Gardevoir should have, like, at least 115 base speed, or maybe just 110 base speed as well. I think that would really help out Gardevoir, because 100 base speed, I would have to say that's like average at best. Like Mega Charizard Y is 100 base speed, Mega Kangaskhan is 100 base speed. And then now let's look at Mega Salamence. Remember, guys, Mega Salamence and Salamence and Gardevoir both had the lowest defenses compared to Metagross. Metagross had the more balanced defenses with 130 defense and 90 special defense, while Gardevoir does have the best special defense out of all three of them, but I mean, you can kind of like take away from that because the physical defense is just so low. So now let's look at Mega Salamence. Obviously, HP will remain the same. Its attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. Let's take a look, and you can just see right there, attack jumps to 145. Its physical defense jumps to 130. Its special attack jumps to 120, and its special defense only jumps up by 10 from 80 to 90, and its speed jumps by another 20 to 120 base speed. So from 100 to 120. This is what I am talking about. I feel like these are all 3rd gen Pokemon. They all got Megas. I feel like Mega Gardevoir should have gotten like 110, 115 base speed, somewhere around there. It makes sense for Mega Salamence to be the fastest one, since before the Mega Evolve, Salamence is already the fastest one. Gardevoir only has 80, Metagross only has a 70, and Salamence has 100 base speed. So it makes sense for Mega Salamence to be faster. But once again, just like Metagross, Salamence also got a buff in all of its stats except for HP, while Gardevoir got a buff in all of its stats except for defense. And even then, Gardevoir's stat boost for speed was a little bit disappointing at 100. So, you know, I feel this is where I would have to say where I feel like Gardevoir should get a buff. I mean, I think I've already laid this out for you guys. You guys can see right here between Mega Salamence and Mega Metagross. You can just see the huge difference in the stat boosts that they got compared to my girl Mega Gardevoir, because this is the most disappointing part right here. It's HP and defense. Now I know that fairies are pretty much always frail, but this is a Mega Pokemon. And having 68 HP and 65 defense, I mean, that just, to me, that isn't gonna cut it. So I kind of feel like Gardevoir should get a buff. I feel like normal Gardevoir, since their HPs stay the same, I feel like Gardevoir should have a buff in HP. Nothing special. I would say maybe like 85 or maybe like 80. I think 80 HP would be fine, but its defense would have to get a buff. Gardevoir maybe doesn't have to get a buff in its defense, but I think once it Mega Evolves, I think it should. I would say at least 95, maybe 100 defense. I don't know. And definitely I would like its speed to be a little bit more higher than 100. You know, that is just my opinion. And I feel like it would help out Gardevoir a lot. Gardevoir is not being used right now in VGC 2019. You guys already saw that. It's not even in the top 30. You know, even Metagross has dropped down, but Gardevoir isn't even in the top 30, with Salamence being the #1 used Mega, a Pokemon that was already a very popular Mega back in 2016. So, I pretty much just leave it up to you guys. Let me know down below, what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that, you guys think it would be cool? Now, obviously, this isn't going to happen. Pokemon doesn't do buffs and stuff like that, buffs and nerfs all the time on their game. I mean, look at how long it took for Mega Kangaskhan to get a nerf until, what, I think it was like 2017 when Mega Kangaskhan got a nerf. And it was kind of pointless because Megas weren't even allowed back in VGC 2017. So, obviously this is never going to happen. But I would just like to see, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comments. How do you guys feel about this? Do you guys think that Mega Gardevoir should get a buff? In my opinion, I feel like it does. I love Mega Gardevoir. I love Mega Metagross. I love Mega Salamence. I wish that Gardevoir would get a buff so it can get a little bit more usage. Or if you guys feel like there's other Pokemon that you guys feel should get a buff, let me know down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time.